Hi everyone, I'm Joe Zdrilich of Zdrilich Injury Law, personal injury firm right here in Georgia. And today we're talking about some of the basic steps of what to do and what not to do after that crash that can make or break your case. I'm also going to be explaining why driving around in an expensive car with budget insurance could backfire on you tremendously, even when the crash isn't your fault. Let's jump in. What to do after a crash. First things first. Here's what you should do after a car crash in Georgia. 1, call 911. Even for what appears to be a relatively minor crash, get a police report. It's one of the best tools you're going to have when it comes to proving what happened. 2, to the extent you physically can and without putting yourself in danger, take photos, take videos, document damage, license plates, street signs, the intersection, everything. 3, get medical treatment immediately. Adrenaline can be sneaky and can mask the pain, but often people experience the worst pain in a crash days and weeks following the wreck, far worse than they ever experienced at the scene. 4, notify your insurance, but just stick to the facts and never agree to a recorded statement until you've spoken with an attorney. This goes for your insurance company too. Often your insurance might be the ones fighting you in court, and they will use this conversation from your most vulnerable time as ammunition against you down the road. And 5, call a personal injury attorney as soon as possible. We help you to avoid traps, preserve your rights, and make sure you are not left holding the bag for someone else's negligence. Let's talk about what not to do, because these common missteps can hurt your case. Do not discuss fault. Even saying you contributed to the collision in any way can be used against you later. Georgia has what's known as apportionment, meaning a jury can decide you're some percent less than 50% at fault and reduce your award at trial by that percentage. And if you're more than 50% at fault, you're not getting a penny. Do not post anything about the crash online. Yes, even that selfie. Insurance companies start to track you online within days of the wreck. Even the most innocent, "thank God I'm all right" post can be used later on or taken out of context to mitigate your damages. You may say, "I meant I lived, not that I wasn't injured," but every minute you're explaining the difference to a jury, that's a minute you're losing. If you need medical attention, do not delay treatment. If you wait too long, they'll say you weren't really hurt. The clock starts ticking the moment that crash occurs, and do not assume that the other side has enough coverage to cover your injuries. Drivers are only required to carry $25,000 per person or $50,000 per incident in bodily injury coverage in Georgia. And let me tell you, that doesn't go far in a serious crash. One evening in the ER can easily cost you that and more. Let's talk about something most people ignore until it's too late. Medical payments coverage, or MedPay as it's commonly called, is optional in Georgia, but I highly recommend it. MedPay pays your medical bills no matter who's at fault. It's more affordable than many agents will let on, and it gives you breathing room while the claim is being handled. It protects you when the other driver's coverage falls short, and it usually does. Too little coverage plus an expensive car equals big risk. Do you know that 1 in 6 Georgia drivers don't even have car insurance? And an even greater percentage of Georgia drivers carry the state minimum limits of just $25,000 per person up to $50,000 per incident, no matter how much damage, mayhem, or death they may cause. When people tell you they have quote-unquote full coverage, in our industry, that's code for minimum coverage at best. Listen, driving around with a luxury vehicle and low-end coverage may feel fine. No one outside your own house sees your insurance coverage. They just see that flashy car. That is, until you find yourself in a wreck. Minimum policies without adequate underinsured motorist coverage are a disaster waiting to happen. I've seen cases where clients were upside down on repair costs with just $25,000 in property damage coverage on a $50,000 or $100,000 vehicle, while they're still trying to recover from their injuries at home, owing money to the bank every month through no fault of their own. Let's say you drive a nice car, maybe a Tesla or a BMW or Lexus, and someone crashes into you. You're thinking, "Not my fault. They should have to pay for it." Well, that's all well and good, but people who don't have enough insurance coverage usually don't have much money lying around at home and haven't been saving their pennies for a rainy day. It just makes sense that people who make irresponsible choices in one area likely make them in another. You do not want to be the person that pays the price for that. Uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage is there to protect your family from the consequences of those people. They had no MedPay, no UM coverage, and now they're stuck fighting to recover money from a driver who barely had any. Don't be that person. Even when it comes to property damage and there is enough coverage to replace the car, say, you may just be eager to wrap up this portion of the case. The carrier has a check ready and you're already on AutoTrader looking at that new car. Don't. Take a moment. You might be entitled to punitive or exemplary damages, as they're known, where the other driver was grossly negligent. Maybe they fled the scene only to be arrested, or maybe they were arrested for driving while intoxicated. Do not waive your right to recover these funds, which are separate from and in addition to the money you get to compensate you for your injuries. Not before speaking with a knowledgeable lawyer who can litigate these matters as needed and who will fight for your rights. So what are today's takeaways? Always get MedPay coverage. Even $5,000 can help offset your costs. If you haven't done so already, upgrade that uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. Don't rely on the other driver to have enough coverage for either your injuries or the damage to your vehicle. And always talk to an attorney before you talk to an insurance company, even about something as simple or mundane as property damage or the replacement value of your vehicle. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more legal tips from a Georgia personal injury attorney. Got questions? Call us or click the link in the description to schedule a free consultation. Drive safe, Georgia, and protect yourself before that collision occurs.